2. Minnix. I'm the author of the Mandolin Dead Man's Tuning books, and this month is March of 2017, and for St. Patrick's Day this year, I'm going to cover some of the songs that are in my book, Mandolin Dead Man's Tuning Volume 2, English, Scottish, and Irish Ballads. And if you go to page 106 or 107, you're going to come to the Irish section of the book where I cover some songs. Now, last week we talked about the song Arthur McBride, and this week we're going to talk about a song called I'll Tell Me Ma, which is a real fun song that you may know from Irish music, or you may have heard it on like Bugs Bunny cartoons because it was really popular. Now, in this song, in the book, I go over how to play the melody line of the song, and I also include some chords that are really popular that people like to throw in there. But in this version, I am going to kind of limit the chords that I use just to the 3 basic 1, 4, 5 of the scale, so that if you're a beginner, you can kind of learn this. Now, some of the techniques that I taught in the last video on Arthur McBride are useful in this video as well, because you're learning how to strum in a rhythm. Now, the rhythm that I'm using for this song is a more upbeat kind of a rhythm. And if you want to hear a really good version of this song, I highly recommend checking out Gaelic Storm's version. I think it was their first album that this came off of, and it's really kind of the one that I sort of emulate, or I try to when I play, but it's been so long since I've actually listened to the song that I don't know if I'm playing it the way that they did it or not. So when I'm playing the song, the rhythm that I'm using is well, it's this. So bones to bones to bones to bones to bones to bones to bones. You know, it's kind of, and that's the motion kind of that you would be playing if you were using a flat pick. I happen to be using finger pick, so I'm. Sometimes I change it up and go boom, or some variant of that. I don't always keep the same rhythm going on, but I keep kind of the same gallop that this song has going on. So. Now, last time in the Arthur McBride video, I talked about using the E and the F sharp, which is the 2nd and the 5th or 4th fret, to kind of get my chord variant happening. And then coming down to the B note. So I'm a singer, so a lot of times what I do is I'll sing the song. I like to give the melody to my readers, and then I figure you've got the chords, you can learn how to do the rhythm however you want to do the rhythm. But most of the time when I perform, I'm singing a song. So I'm using something on the mandolin that, and since I'm not in a band, other than I play with my kids and Willie and the Urchins, which you can check out our Facebook page and like it if you want to, but I play mostly with, and they do a lot of the percussion, so I'm the one carrying the band, so I have to be able to bring a lot of the sound. And fortunately with my Hopkins mandolin, it does produce an awful lot of sound. I've had people say, we walked for a mile, we heard you a mile away and we walked to where we found you playing, because they wanted to hear me play. And that means that this mandolin really projects. Not all mandolins do that, but when you're in A-dad tuning, it does help to project, and it's definitely a unique sound that people aren't used to hearing from a mandolin. And a lot of times I'll have people ask me, they'll say, what kind of instrument is that? And I'll say it's a mandolin, and they'll say, well, you know, my grandfather played the mandolin, but it didn't sound like that. Well, it's probably because he was tuned to standard tuning, and he used a lot of different techniques than what I use. So anyway, when you're playing this song, you can use some of the same techniques that you're going to find in the Arthur McBride video, and you can apply them to this song. So I'll go over again. I'll tell you. Now that song switches and it goes to a G chord right there. And then some people go to an F sharp minor next, but I skip that and I just use that F sharp note to kind of get me to the A chord. So see what I did there? I hit the F sharp and off, and then I land on the A chord. So I don't necessarily have to go to a full F sharp chord, because when you play an A chord, you hear the tonality of the A. When you hit the F sharp, you hear the tonality of the F sharp, and when you jump right to there, it's sort of I forget what the word is, but it just sort of blends together, and you end up having that F sharp sound, sort of, but you've already passed it and you've gone on to the A chord. So you don't necessarily always have to play every single chord. You can fudge it a little bit and go to the next one. So here we go. Now one of the things that I do is I bounce my chord. So like if I got a G chord, if I bring my hand up close so you can see what's happening, I'm going so. You probably can see that when it's up close, but you can see my hand moving back here. So so it gives it changes the tonality of the chord just a little bit by bouncing, and it's not technically chopping. I'm going to cover real quick here what I consider chopping. I think there are 4 techniques for chopping. The first one is that kind of a bounce thing. The second one is the bounce but not fully committing to playing the chord. The third technique is kind of a combo of both of those, and then the fourth is like palm muting, or that could be even included into the one where you're doing a combo of the two. So those are some of the techniques I use for palm muting, but they kind of come out even when I'm just strumming, because I'm not really chopping. I just want to stutter a little bit when I'm playing. And I think that emphasizes sort of the rhythm of the tune. So that's all Tell Me Mom. I hope you enjoy that. I hope that you get something out of it, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you want more in-depth information on some of these tunes, check out the ebook that's out for this month. And you can get the ebook by signing up for the newsletter that will be at my website, www.willieminnix.com. Just go on the, I believe it's on the right-hand side of the page. There's some newsletter sign up, and you can go there and you can get access to the ebook. And in the ebooks, I cover a lot more information, and so I hope that this helps you. And if you do, just please tell your friends. So God bless you. You have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.